Hey guys, good morning. Bill Soriano here from Pittsburgh, Sunday morning, 9/17, 2023, and it's time for me to drop my weekly overview here into my Forex Smart Money Supremacy group. This is where my paid subscribers are at, people that want to get my Forex trade alerts. Very easy to get access to this group, as you guys know. There are only a few of you in here, but really you guys are the only ones that get access to this video. I do make this video on YouTube, but I leave it as unlisted so that not everyone can access it. So anyway, let's get started here. It's time to do the weekly overview. We call it overview. Let's see, a forecast, weekly overview. I'm going to go through all 28 Forex pairs. I'm going to identify the daily trend for you. I'm going to find a 4-hour order block that will trade from going with that daily trend bias. Mark up a point of interest in the 4-hour order block, set an alert there, right? Now, when I do this, I'll be using a free indicator that I use. It's pretty accurate. It's accurate about 80% of the time. You'll see as I go through pairs that sometimes I don't agree with the order block that it's giving us. It also gives you order blocks going both ways. And of course, we only want to trade with the higher time frame trend. So we just ignore those other order blocks that it gives us. These order blocks must meet 3 criteria. They must lead to a break of structure. There must be an engulfing candle after the banker candle that identifies the order block, and they must have imbalance, right? They also must not have been mitigated or touched before, right? Now, if you don't understand any of these terms, well, obviously you guys understand because you're in my group here. So once that 4-hour point of interest gets hit, we then drop down to the 15-minute chart, wait for the entry model lower time frame flip. And I do those during the week in the Facebook group here. Those are live sessions that I do here in the group where I mark up the 4-hour point. I show you the 4-hour point of interest alerts, and I also put the trade alerts here in the group. And if you guys missed it, there were 2 winning trades last week, right? AUD JPY, GBP JPY. So far for the month, we're at 5 wins, 2 losses, 71% win rate, and an 8% gain on your account had you taken all 7 of these trades. Very simple, guys. Now, I was able to give you alerts for most of these trades so far. Last week, these two winning trades, I gave the alerts here in the group. Let's see if we could find them real fast here. Boom, boom. That's the alert, GBP JPY. I gave that alert on September 11th. Right here, when I give the alert, it has the buy limit or sell limit. It has the buy limit, in this case, the stop loss, and the take profit. And I put the chart image here. I also put the image of the winning trade after the trade wins, right? And I also gave you alert here in AUD JPY. I did a live session here where I went over it. And then I put the alert down below here, buy limit, stop loss, take profit. So these were all given to you before the trade's executed, right? Now, some of the trades I don't get to give you an alert for because the break of structure, the change of character, and the lower time frame flip executes while I'm either at the restaurant or I'm sleeping. But if that's not the case, then I will give you an alert here in the group. So without further ado, let's get into our trading view here so we can start going through these pairs, okay? The first pair is AUD CAD. So if we come to the daily chart, first thing we want to do, we can see that the trend down is bias, right? We have a bearish bias on this pair right now. And if we drop down to the 4-hour, we will see that we have this order block here already marked up with a point of interest alert in. Now the indicator, of course, is showing us a order block here to buy from. We don't want to do that because we want to trade with the higher time frame trend, right? So I want to explain this to you in case you do use the indicator. It's also giving us this order block to sell from, but that's not valid for us because we don't have a break of structure to the downside yet. We would need to get a break of structure down below this area here in order for us to start looking at order blocks that are closer to where we're at. Right now, the 4-hour order block we want to trade from is right here. So that alert is already set. AUDCHF, right? We look at this on the daily chart. Again, this is bearish, right? Drop down to the 4-hour. We see our order block right here is still valid. Our point of interest is still there. It hasn't been hit. You can see we're looking for this area right here to get hit. Of course, the indicator wants to give us these order blocks to buy from, but we're not, that's not part of our trading plan. Now, some people, that may be in their trading plan, right? They may want to trade against a trend. They may be counter trend traders. I don't know. But for us, we're not going to worry about those order blocks there. AUDJPY. So this one, we're going to just start this one from beginning here. Right. Remove all the drawings on this. If we go to the daily chart, and that's one thing here, this indicator, we don't need this to show up on the daily chart. Okay, we don't need that indicator on the daily chart. We only need it on the 4-hour chart. So as we can see here, this has been pretty bearish. It did have a move down, but overall, the trend is bearish, bullish. I'm sorry. There was a move down, but not enough to change trend. And so we're still bullish here on AUDJPY. If we drop down to the 4-hour chart, okay, it's giving us an order block here, which is valid because we do have this break of structure here. Okay, we got a break of structure. However, you see these wicks come down here. There's no imbalance here. Okay, so that's why this area just isn't very good, right? It's kind of already been hit, but there wasn't a break of structure yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look for this order block down here to get hit because there's just no imbalance here. Okay. There's no imbalance. And so there's no reason really for them to come back to this area, but there is a reason for them to come back down to here. So we're going to mark up this order block right here, and we're going to put our point of interest right at the open of that red candle. Okay. AUDNZD. Let's just remove all the drawings on this. And again, if we look at the daily chart, what are we going to see? We're going to see bullish price action, right? This one's a little bit hard to determine. If you look at the moving averages, they're kind of right on top of each other. So right now, though, the bias is bullish, okay? It's hard to tell by looking at the chart, even if you zoom out, right? The last move down really seems to be bearish, right? But if you look at the current price action, and if you look at the moving averages here, you see that price is above the 200-day, right? The 13 is above the 200. The 13 is above the 62, which is the green line. The red line is the 13. The blue line is the 200. The green line is the 62. Okay. So with that in mind, we would want to take this. This one's a little bit harder to determine. So if you use the moving averages to help you, you would say that this bias is bullish, right? So if we drop down to the 4-hour, right, we got a couple areas that we could trade from. It's giving us this area right here and also this area down here, the indicator is. So again, we don't have a lot of imbalance here. We don't have a lot of imbalance here either. So, I kind of like, the lower area. Kind of going to use that area. We're going to put our alert right at the open of that red candle right there. And again, keep in mind that we don't take trades when this 4-hour point of interest is hit, right? So we don't have to be absolutely perfect in our analysis, because once this gets hit, we're going to drop down to the 15-minute chart, wait for our confirmation, right? So we don't have to be absolutely perfect on this, but that's where we're going to put it. AUD, USD, this overall trend is bearish. If we look here, we still have our order block up here marked up, and we have our point of interest, which has not been hit yet. So that's still valid. Now, if we would get a break of structure to the downside here, right, if price would move down further, break this structure in through here, then we can identify an order block in this area right here, a little bit closer to price. But right now, that's our order block to trade from. CAD, CHF, I think this, yeah, this invalidated like 2 order blocks last week. So we may have a change of trend in this, right? This was bearish last week. And if we look at it this week, you know, it's still bearish overall. Okay, it's still bearish overall. And so we would still look to take this down, but we would have to trade from an order block higher up. So let's see what we have here. Of course, the indicator is giving us order blocks to buy from, which we don't want. We look in this area right here. I kind of like this area up here because we have a nice engulfing candle here. But we also have this area in here and a nice engulfing candle here as well. Okay, so let's go with the closer area here, but there's a lot of imbalance. I'm going to go with this area up here. I'm going to put the point of interest at the open of that blue candle right before that engulfing candle. Okay, so it's really not too far away. Price is almost there anyway. So we'll see what happens this week. CAD-JPY. Bullish price action here on the daily. We have our order block still marked up here, but we did get a break of structure to the upside. Okay, so with that break of structure, we do have another order block that we could potentially trade from. Okay, I don't like this area here, right? Let's see, we have this. We don't really have an engulfing candle. We do have some imbalance. This area down here, the same thing. We don't really have an engulfing candle. We do have imbalance. We're gonna for this week, we're gonna pick this area right here. We're gonna take the order block that the indicator is giving us. We're just gonna make it a little bit bigger here because our point of interest should actually be at the open of this. Oh, okay. We usually use the last, in this instance, we would use the last red candle before the up move, okay? But because this blue candle actually goes lower, the indicator is grabbing that one. So we're going to put our point of interest right. First of all, let's do this. Let's remove any drawings that were in here already. And let's just use the red candle. So that's our point of interest right there. So we're going to wait for price to come down, right? Hit our point of interest, and then we can drop down to the 15-minute chart, right? And wait for our lower time frame flip to execute. Now we're in CAD, CHF, JPY. Again, very bullish price structure. So we're still looking for this point of interest line to get hit right here. You can see our price movement up. It's just kind of flagging back down very nicely to this area here. The indicator, of course, is giving us these order blocks to sell from, but we only trade with the higher time frame trend, so we don't want to take those, right? Those would be counter trend trades. there are people that are counter trend traders, like I said before, and that's why the indicator gives you both order blocks going both ways. So we're going to leave this alone. Our point of interest is right here, this blue line. We're going to wait for price to hit that before we drop down to the 15-minute chart and wait for our confirmation. EUR, AUD. Okay, I'm not sure what we had here. This was an old trade here. Let's see, EUR, AUD. Not sure what happened with that. I didn't have any record of that. Just remove these drawings here. Go to the daily chart. See what it looks like on the daily chart. It's bullish. We drop down to the 4-hour. 4-hour, of course, looks bearish, but like we said, on the daily, we're definitely still bullish. You would need to get a break of structure down here to even get a change of character. So, you know, we're still bullish. So we need still look to buy this. And if we look over here, we have an area right here that we could trade from, a nice engulfing candle right after it. So, and lots of imbalance here. So see if we can make this a little bit bigger so we could see this red candle down here. We're going to use that for our order block. It's not a very big order block, and we're going to put a point of interest right at the open of that red candle. So we're going to wait for price to hit that. And then we'll see what happens. EURCAD, right? This invalidated here. EURCAD looks like this was a winning trade from the first week of the month. Okay, let's look at the daily chart here. And we look at the daily chart where the bias is obviously bullish, right? Price has now dropped down below the 200-day moving average, but we really don't have enough for a change of trend. We have to get a break of structure down to here really to get a change of trend. And it is close to doing that, but right now we're still bullish. Okay, so with that in mind, what we can do is we can look for an area over here, which was already hit. So we're probably going to go a little bit further down, and we can see some imbalance here. We see a nice engulfing candle after this candle right here. Let's kind of use that zone there. We're going to put our point of interest right on that candle right there. This may have already been hit. Let's see here. And no, it just missed getting hit. So hopefully this week we get to move down a little bit further so that we can look at taking that trade. EURCHF is next. The daily, as you can see, is bearish. We have an order block already marked up here, okay, to trade from. And we also have a break of structure alert here. That's this red line with the alarm on. Now, remember, a lot of times these red lines are, when you see them on the 15-minute, they're the ChoCh. They're where you need to go to get your ChoCh or your break of structure in order to identify your lower time frame flip zone. But right now, this is still valid. If price does move down here further, we'll get that alert, will go off, and then we'll be able to identify a different order block to trade from, right? EURGBP, this is a current trade right now. So we don't want to do anything with this, right? This, of course, is a sell limit that you should have in right now at 0.86213. And price is now working its way back up to that area to hit it, right? So you should have that sell alert in right now. Now, you know, if you're trading on your live account or a funded account, you may not want to have that in tonight because I don't like to execute trades on Sunday night personally. But it's up to you. And of course, we're going to count it either way as a trade. So So this one is still our red flag. EURJPY is next on the daily chart. This is one also we have some stuff on. This was a losing trade from the first week of the month. Okay. This was one of our losing trades from the first week of the month. So let's just remove all of our drawings here. We're bullish on this. And we do have, let's see, we can't trade from this order block because there's no break of structure to the upside. We have an order block down here, which looks good to me. There's also one up here, just a little bit higher. We can really just kind of grab this whole area here. And we could put our alert right at the open of that red candle right there. And so that's our alert there for EURJPY. Now, as I'm going through these charts, guys, I go through them kind of fast, I know, but you can see that on the right-hand side here, it's going to give you that number, 156.188. That's where our point of interest is at. When you go to these charts yourself, if you write those numbers down as I'm going through here, if you kind of write the pairs down, write the pair down, write the point of interest, and then when you go to your 4-hour chart, you'll be able to find the order block, right? EURNZD. This invalidated a zone here last week. It's bullish, right? We were looking to trade from this 4-hour order block here, but you can see it got invalidated, right? So there were no trade alerts on it. Nothing went off. It's just invalidated. And we will need to find an order block lower down here to trade from. The next one is right here. The next good one I see is right here. We have this red candle, right, that we can identify as our banker candle. We're going to use the wick of that blue candle as well to identify the lower end of the order block, right? That's our engulfing candle. We have some imbalance here, and we'll put our point of interest right at the open of that red candle. And that's what that looks like for EURNZD. EURUSD, again, on the daily chart. This invalidated this area right here that we had marked up the trade from. Okay, and now when you look at the daily chart, this is interesting because now price is below the 200-day. The 13-day is now dipped below the 200-day. It's also below the 62. And so here's how you can identify the start of a change in the bias. Okay, so right here, right here, basically you get a break of structure to the downside, and then you get a pullback. And then you get a second break of structure. See how price, let me show you, see how price comes down here, right? It breaks that structure there. Then it pulls back up. Can't work my tool here, guys, sorry. Pulls back up, right? And then it breaks structure again. So that's a ChoCh plus, right? We look for a ChoCh on the 15-minute chart, but this is on the 4-hour. This is on the daily, actually. And this is how we can identify early that the bias has now changed on this pair, okay? So I now want to trade this down. I don't want to, the bias is now changed. We had that order block that we had marked up on the 4-hour. That got invalidated, right? And so now we have a change of trend in this. And so now I'm going to look at this bearish order block here that they have marked up. Okay, you can see here, you get an engulfing candle, you have some imbalance here. So we're going to actually look to trade from this order block here. And the point of interest would be the open of this blue candle right here. So that's where we're going to put our alert. Okay. So we have a change in the trend bias now on EUR USD. And again, if that's not correct, what will happen is, right, price will move up into this order block and probably invalidate it, right? And then it'll probably go through that order block as well. If price isn't ready to go down, that's what's going to happen. But I think we have we have reason to believe that the bias is now changed on this. And if price hits this, our point of interest route, invalidating this order block, we drop down to 15-minute, we can look for our confirmation to take the trade. This is GBP AUD. Let's remove everything on this, right? If we go to the daily chart, we're still bullish on this. So on the 4-hour, we need to identify a area to trade from here. And it looks like this area down here is going to be good. We have some imbalance here. The indicator is showing us that imbalance. We have a nice engulfing candle. So we're just going to do this. We're going to combine these 3 candles together, but we're going to use that point of interest. That open of that red candle is our point of interest. And there we have it. GBP CAD. And again, guys, this invalidated a couple order blocks here. So this may be one where we may be looking for a change in the bias as well, right? Let's remove the drawings. Let's go to the daily chart here. That's not the case yet. See, we do have this break of structure right here. Just show you this here, right? Let me just show you this real fast. So we had price coming down. This video is going to be a little bit longer, guys. I'm just giving you a little more tips here as I'm marking up these order blocks. Now, if we get a pullback, right, and then we get another break of structure to the downside, then that would be a change of trend bias, right? But right now, it's not. Right now, we still got to trade. We still got to look at this bullish, okay? So if we come over here, we have this order block right here we can trade from. It looks like it's maybe already been hit. Look at that nice engulfing candle there, right? So let's kind of just take that whole area there, and then we're going to put our point of interest kind of right about there. That's already been hit. Okay, so it already invalidated that area, right? So just to show you that. So now we're going to come down a little bit lower here. We have this area right here. Same thing, we have a big engulfing candle there. That the area I just did. No, that area, this area here has not been hit. Of interest will go right here, guys. Yeah, that alert, horizontal ray, good to go. Okay, so price doesn't have to move much. It's almost there right now. Okay, now if price invalidates this order block during this week, then that's probably going to give you a change of the trend on the daily chart, but we'll have to wait and see. GBP CHF. Okay, this one is kind of, it's the bias is bearish, right? We have an order block marked up. Looks like it's still valid to us, right? We also have, of course, the indicators giving us order blocks to buy from. We don't want to do that. We have a break of structure alert down here also. If that would happen, then we can identify a new order block. GBP JPY. Let's just remove drawings here. Let's look at the daily chart. We're still bullish, still very bullish on the daily chart. And in the 4-hour, we see our price has been flagging down here. Can't tell. It looks like I have this. I kind of like this area right here. There is imbalance. There's more imbalance down here. Let me kind of see it. Let me see if this may have already been hit. No, it hasn't been hit yet. Okay, so let's put our alert right there. GBP NZD. This invalidated an order block last week here. So let's look on the daily chart here. It still seems to be very bullish, right? Even though it did invalidate that order block on the 4-hour, right? We identify these order blocks on the 4-hour chart. So in order to determine if they're invalidated, we use the 4-hour for that. Okay. And you could see that that did get invalidated on the 4-hour chart. So we now have to go over, find another area down here a little bit lower that we could trade from, right? So let's remove our drawings here. You have a lot of price consolidation in here, right? You have some imbalance, right? I tend to like this engulfing candle right here, and this area down in here. I'm just going to kind of combine this area here, and I'm going to use my point of interest right here on the open of this candle. So I don't believe that that's been hit yet. And it has not. So we're going to wait for price to come down to there. GBP USD. Okay, it looks like this one. Yeah, this may be active. Looks like price hit our order block here. $12.15. Yeah, so this is a current. This is a current trade setup right here. So we had price hits our 4-hour point of interest. We have our choke right here, set at this red line. So again, this indicator does not have to be on the minutes, only the 4-hour. We turn it on when we want it on the 15 minute. So this this is already in the 4-hour order block. So we're waiting for our choke right here. So yeah, this is where we have to get our choke here this week. And then once that happens, then, you know, if I'm not at the restaurant or I'm not at the sleeping, then I'll be able to identify an area to trade from, our lower time frame flip zone, which is usually, it's either the 15-minute order block, guys, or if there's a yellow smart monix candle near that 15-minute order block, then we use the imbalance from that smart monix candle. But we never just use those by themselves, okay? First, you have to have the change of character. You remember, if you were watching the IM Academy training that Manny used to do, he just used to use those harmonic smart monix candles by themselves. We don't do that. First, we need the break of structure or the change of character or ChoCh. Then we need it to come back to that 15-minute order block, which is lower time frame flip zone. Now, if there's a smart monix candle near there, then it's okay for us to use it. Okay, this is NZD CAD, which is bearish right now. Looks like we have a 4-hour order block marked up. No, looks like that was hit. Well, let's do this. Let's remove the drawings here. And so now we have a new area here. Don't like either of them. We did get a break of structure to the downside. So actually, to me, this is the better candle because you have the engulfing candle after it. You don't have any imbalance. Just no imbalance. Okay, so let's see. No, we want to use this candle right here. We want to use this blue candle right here. And we're going to use the open of that candle. But what we're going to do is, see, we don't have any imbalance there. So instead of using the open of that candle, we're just going to go a little bit higher up in this order block. Okay. And so whenever, this doesn't happen a lot, guys, but whenever you know, wherever, if you're going to put the point of interest there and there's no imbalance there, then the other thing you could do is you can use 50% of the order block. Okay. So you could put your point of interest just a little bit higher up in that order block. NZD CHF. This is a bearish price structure on the daily chart. Looks like we have an order block that did get hit. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here. So again, we have this order block. Looks like we have an order block that got hit. If we drop down to the 15-minute chart here, so this area did get hit. So essentially what we need is we need to get a change of character or ChoCh down here. Okay. It actually could be right there. So what you need is, you need to have the body of a candle close below there, and then we'll be able to identify our lower time frame flip zone. Okay, so we're going to mark this with a red flag telling us to look for a, you know, a bearish trade there. Because again, the daily trend is definitely bearish, and that 4-hour order block that was marked up was hit. So I'm not exactly sure why we didn't follow it, but we didn't get the change of character yet, so that's okay. NZDJPY on the daily chart, where again we are bullish. We have a 4-hour order block already marked up here. And so this is still valid. Now, if we get price to move up and break structure to the upside, then we can identify another order block. Right now, these order blocks here aren't valid because there's no break of structure to me. Okay. NZD USD. Looking at the daily chart, we are bearish. Right? We got this order block right here. I'm not quite sure. We got a break of structure here. So that validates this order block right here. So let's just remove our drawings here. This is a beautiful order block. We have a nice engulfing candle after it. We're going to set our point of interest right there. Our alert set right there. USD CAD. This is a current trade. No, this is let me see. Yeah, this is a current trade. Right? So this trade right now is active. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. Now, of course, if you're trading with your live account, I wasn't able to give an alert on this trade, right? The reason why I couldn't give an alert is because right here you can see the change of character occurs 8:15 a.m. Friday morning, and the lower time frame flip zone or the limit order gets hit 3 hours later, 11:45. So I'm at the restaurant, so I couldn't give you a trade alert on this. This is a current trade. However, again, if you're using a live account, a funded account, funded challenge, you would have exited this trade before the market closed on Friday. You would have gotten out in profit. You wouldn't hold the trade over the weekend for the purpose of our journaling. We let that trade run to see what happens. USD CHF on the daily. Okay, you can see bearish price structure. Price is very close. It invalidated this 4-hour order block right here. And now it's close to hitting our point of interest right there. Right? So the trend is still bearish. Even though price is moving up, it needs to come all the way up to here in order to get a change of character. And so we need to invalidate this order block. And if it does, that only gives us a change of character, not a change of trend, right? So we're still bearish on this, and we're still looking for that point of interest to get hit this week. And then the last pair is USD JPY on the daily chart. We've been bullish for a while here. I'm sorry. Let me just remove these drawings here for you. So if we look here, this is where we're looking to trade from right here. We have this nice banker candle here. We have an engulfing candle after it. We have lots of imbalance. And so that's where our point of interest is at right there. So of course, the indicator is giving us these order blocks higher up here, but they're not valid to me because there's no true break of structure to the upside here. Okay, so they're not valid to me. This is the order block I want to trade from. That's what I teach you guys to do. Okay, so that is the weekly outlook or the weekly overview for the week of 9/18, September 18th, 2023, this week, guys. So make sure that you keep an eye out. Like I said, we're at 5 wins, 2 losses so far for the month, 71% win rate, 8% gain on your account had you taken all 7 of these trades. I believe I gave trade alerts on 5 of these trades, 5 out of the 7. And then the other ones, of course, like I said, I wasn't able to give you a trade alert when I'm at the restaurant or I'm sleeping when both the change of character occurs and the lower time frame flip zone gets hit. Right? So when that happens and I'm at the restaurant or I'm sleeping, I can't give you a trade alert. Okay. We went through all 28 pairs. We identified the daily trend bias. We identified the 4-hour order block to trade from, marked up a point of interest inside that 4-hour order block, and we set our alert there. So keep an eye out in the group now, guys, so that during the week, as these points of interest get hit, I'll come in live in the group here and I'll do some live sessions. That's what you see these videos right here, or these are live Facebook sessions. I'll do some live sessions in here going over the point of interest alert hits, showing you where we need to get a break of structure to get that change of character or choke. And then once we get that, I'll be able to post a trade alert in the group here for you. So keep an eye out for alerts in this group. Any questions, let me know. Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh. Have a great week, guys.